Kristen. Appreciate you coming in. When we had talked briefly before this, you said that the issue that was bringing you in was some problems in the home. Are you able to elaborate on that any more for me?
I think it's mainly just like our communication and just like, I guess, miscommunication, lack of communication.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what way?
I don't know, like not really hearing each other or just like not really being present for each other.
Yeah. Well, one of the big things with DBT is interpersonal communication skills, different techniques to build those skills. In particular, I think the one that'd be beneficial for you is one that is designed to help you communicate what you want from somebody in a healthy, productive manner. Does that sound like something that would be useful for you or that you'd be interested in?
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Luckily, for people that use DBT, the skills that we use are very easy to teach because they are easy to remember. So this one in particular, it's a pretty simple phrase to remember, just dear man. That seems like something you can remember, right? And so each letter of dear man has its own meaning. So I'll run through them real quick and then we'll work through them together and then see how we can apply it to your specific situation. So the D of dear man is describe. So the goal here is simply to describe the facts of what's happening. So if it was you and your husband, you'd be telling him exactly what the issue was, only the facts though. The second part, DE, E is express. And with that, you're going to be expressing how you feel about the situation. With the express portion, kind of using an I statement approach, if you're familiar with those, can really be beneficial because it helps the person that you're talking with not feel attacked. They're much more willing to listen to what you have to say, and it works out really well for you. The A of dear man is assert, and a lot of people do have trouble being assertive, and that isn't necessarily what you have to do in this portion. With the assert, what you're doing is you're explaining what you want from them. So we start out with describing the facts, we're expressing how we feel about the situation, and we're asserting what we want from the person that we're talking with. Then the last letter for dear is reinforce, and you're reinforcing how things will be better between you and that person, or how the change that you're requesting will then benefit that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the man portion of dear man is a little more abstract, I think. So the M is mindfulness, and what you're doing there is you're being mindful of what you want from that person. A lot of the times, and you can tell me if this has been your experience as well, when you're trying to convey what you need from somebody, if they feel attacked or if they disagree with you, they are often quick to dismiss what you want or change topics on you. Sometimes they can outright attack you. Does this ever happen between you and your husband?
Maybe like the defensive part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it's really easy to kind of lose focus of what our goal is. So the mindfulness of dear man is simply staying on topic. We don't want to get distracted with anything else that's going on. If our goal is to improve communication, we're going to stay on that, even if the person we're talking with tries to switch it to some other argument or some other discussion. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And the A of dear man is appear confident. So when we're talking with somebody, we're going to be looking at them. We're not going to have our head turned to the side. We're not going to be whispering and not trying, we want to act like what we're saying is valid. We deserve what we're asking for, and that we deserve the respect that you do deserve. And then the N of dear man is what all good discussions have, is some negotiation. So the chances are, coming at your husband or whoever you're using this with, that they're just going to outright agree with you, realistically is pretty small. So on some point, there's going to have to be some negotiation. It also helps them feel like they have some say in the situation. So you can negotiate back and forth to reach an understanding and both get what you want. Do you have any questions about any of those?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So for your particular situation, if you were to describe the facts as they are, what would you say to your husband?
When I'm sharing something with you, you like space out or check out.
Okay, so he's not paying attention.
Yeah.
And then, so we would follow that up directly with how you're feeling with the situation, the express portion of Dear Man. And again, using the I statements. So like, I feel this way when you something because of.
I guess I feel, I don't know, insignificant when you like aren't paying attention.
Okay.
When I'm speaking.
Absolutely.
Would that be
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally understandable. And then after we express that, so we've stated the facts that he zones out, he spaces out when you're talking to him. That makes you feel insignificant. And then we want to assert what we want from him.
I guess I would like for him to, I don't know, pay attention when I'm talking, or if he is preoccupied, like ask for me to tell him later, like now's not a good time, we talk later type of thing.
Yeah, that would work really well there too, and as well with the negotiation portion, because you're trying to meet him in the middle somewhere. And then the R, Dear Man, reinforce if he was doing what you just asked for in the assert portion, how would things be better for him? How would they be better for you two as a couple?
I don't know, probably making us feel like more connected or in sync, or like what the other person's sharing matters.
Yeah. Excellent. Then for the M of Dear Man, again, being mindful. So all those things that you just said, if you're using this in a real world situation, and if he does get frustrated, if he does not want to listen to anything you have to say, if it takes you repeating the same thing over and over again, so what you wanted to assert, what you wanted from him was?
For him to like pay attention when I'm talking and not be distracted. Yeah,
and so if it comes down to it, the term we use in DBT is broken record, and you're simply going to repeat that statement over and over until he hears you. Makes sense, yeah. And then again, appearing confident and negotiate. And negotiation seems like something that you've already kind of started to take into account of when you were doing your reinforcements.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is something that you could use with your husband?
Yeah, I feel like I could try it. Yeah, I could try it.
Were there any areas that you feel less confident about? Anything that we should discuss in more detail?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, one thing that I always like to point out, and it's another one of the big components of DBT, is radical acceptance. Pretty much that means accept reality as it is. And also, a part of that is understanding the things that you have control over. Unfortunately, your husband is not something you actually have control over. So you could use all of these skills exactly perfectly, and there's a chance that he will not change.
Yeah.
It's important to know that that is not something that you did wrong. It is not something that you necessarily have control over. All you can do is continue to try to use these skills, continue to try to explain what you want from him in a reasonable manner, and hope for an improvement.
Yeah, okay.
So now that we've kind of covered all the different parts of Dear Man, explained some of the limitations with it, would you feel comfortable doing a brief little role play and practicing this? So as if I was your husband, you could approach me and try to use some of these skills.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. And if you run into a point where you're not sure what to say or what part comes next, feel free to stop and ask. That's what we're doing this for.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like we're not focused or present when we're communicating with each other, and that makes, I feel insignificant or like it don't matter when you like space out or like interrupt me mid whatever I'm saying. Assert.
Correct. So what you want from him?
Yeah, I would like, I guess, for both of us to be more present with each other during conversations. And if what I'm sharing comes at a bad time, just like let me know. That way I don't feel like I'm rambling when you're not listening.
Right.
I'm open to you saying, hey, I'm in the middle of something. Can we talk about this in like 5 or 10 minutes or something?
Right.
I think that would be helpful.
And then how would
Confidence.
Confidence, yeah. But also, what would improve? How would he benefit from doing what you're asking from him? How would the relationship benefit?
I feel like this would help us by like me feeling heard and valued, which I think would reciprocate back to you in other ways. Maybe I'd be less, I don't know, snippy or irritable. And hopefully we would also feel more connected.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about the beginning of that?
Yes.
When you were explaining, so when you were describing the facts, when you were explaining the situation, you were referring to we when you were saying that we are not paying attention to one another or we are spacing out. Is it both of you doing this or is it mostly him?
I think it's mostly him, but I don't want to like phrase it in a way that he would feel attacked, I guess.
That makes sense. It could be important to, if that is the truth, if that is the fact of the matter, since what we're doing here is we're trying to express the truth, especially on that part, to make those statements of when I'm talking to you, you are not listening to me. Especially if there's examples like you had stated where you will get up and walk out of the room while you're talking. Those are okay to say. Those are facts of the matter. We're not expressing opinions. We're not expressing feelings. We're expressing facts. And so if that is the fact, then that is what you'll say.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Scary, but it
Yes.
makes sense.
Yeah, being assertive is difficult, and that is one of the things that you have to do sometimes.
Okay.
Do you think you could do that with him?
Yeah, I think it's something I could try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next time when we meet, I hope to hear how it went.
Yay! Reflections. Thanks so much, Robert.
Thank you.